All right, everyone. A really exciting piece of info that came out at the Heidel Ball was actually a new method to get a pen accessory without having to rely on luck. No RNG required. You're not going to need to enhance it. You're not going to need a big fail stack or any of that sort of stuff. You're going to be able to get a guaranteed pen accessory 100% just by doing this new event quest series that they're going to introduce into the game. And the crazy thing is, this is actually coming out tonight. We have the maintenance here very soon at the time of me posting this video, and after the maintenance, this will actually be in game. So what I wanted to do today is go over the details of this new event quest series on how to get this pen accessory guaranteed without luck, and also go over the 3 different choices that you're going to have, because of course this pen accessory that you can get guaranteed, you can't pick from every single pen accessory in the game. You're going to have a choice of 3, and I wanted to go over the 3 different options as well as the one that you might want to consider. Now at the end of the day, of course, I'll provide my suggestions, my opinions, but pick the one that you want, pick the one that you feel like is going to be best for your account, pick the one that you think is going to allow you to have the most fun with the game. The suggestions are really just that. They're absolutely not you must go for this pen accessory that I say. That's not at all what it's going to be. But I will tell you guys my feedback and which one that I think the majority of people might want to consider the most out of the 3 options. So let's get into this here. Now, the good thing is the actual method in order to end up getting the guaranteed pen accessory is pretty straightforward. The only thing about it that is a little bit, I guess, complicated is the fact you won't be able to get it right away. So I've noticed that there's already a lot of people right now panicking and buying a whole bunch of Blackstones off of the market. They've gone up in price an insane amount over the last couple of hours. It's still going to take you several months in order to end up completing the daily quests in order to get this guaranteed pen accessory. So I don't think you need to go out there and panic and buy a bunch of Blackstones. Yes, you will need a lot of Blackstones for this accessory, but you're going to have 3 months minimum, basically, in order to accumulate all the Blackstones that you are going to need. So let's get into the details here, kind of go over what you're going to need in order to get this new pen accessory. So this Burning Moontail, by the way, they ended up giving out to everybody at the Heidel Ball. I'll explain what this is because it's going to save a little bit of time on those daily quests. It's going to cut back about a month of having to do them. But basically what's going to happen is there's going to be a quest that you can end up getting from the Black Spirit after the maintenance once this is introduced, and it's going to allow you to pick one of these accessories here. Now this also tells you the list of 3 accessories that you're going to be able to get that guaranteed pen version of without needing to enhance. No RNG, no big fail stacks required, and you can see that that list is going to be a Narc ear accessory, a tongue grad earring, or a Ring of the Crescent Guardian. Those are your 3 choices there. So by doing this event quest series, you'll be able to eventually, after doing the dailies for a certain period of time, be able to take one of these guaranteed to pen. And again, I'll go over what I think my suggestions are, what you guys might want to consider here in a bit. So now in order to actually do that though, if you end up going down here, you're going to see that the main material that you're going to need are these Burning Moonlight Blackstones and these Dancing Moonlight Blackstones. You can see the amount of these that you're going to need to go from the base enhancement status up to Tet. And then you're going to need one of these Dancing Moonlight Blackstones. However, if you scroll down here, you'll see that the Dancing Moonlight Blackstone, basically how you end up getting one of those is you just turn in 110 of the Burning Moonlight Blackstones. So you can go back to this list and you can see the required amount. Basically, for the Tet to pen, it's just 110 of these stones is required, and you can turn 110 of these Burning Moonlight Blackstones into one of these Dancing Moonlight Blackstones. So obviously, of course, for the Tet to pen, you're going to need the most of them. That makes sense right there. Now, in order to get these Burning Moonlight Blackstones, this is the main material that you're going to need in order to get this guaranteed pen accessory. And you can see for these Burning Moonlight Blackstones, these are the list of materials that you're going to need. And very importantly, I will tell you guys that this very first one here is the time-gated material. This is everything else you could end up getting right away. You could go out, get a bunch of Jonas fragments, melting accessories. You could get a bunch of magical shards by melting black magic crystals. You could go and panic buy a bunch of the Blackstones just like a lot of people are right now. And these Old Moon Catalysts, I'll show you guys here. These are actually purchased from a vendor with silver, so you could just go and buy these all right now. However, it doesn't matter. These 4 items at the bottom, none of this matters here. You don't need to go and do this all immediately right now because this is the one that you're going to have to actually wait Every single day, you're only going to be able to get a couple of these, and this is going to be your time-gated, limited bottleneck material, right? Everything else you could get right away, this is the one that's going to be limited. So, you know, I want to say this again as a little bit of a warning out there. I know you guys might look at the Blackstones and it might be tempted to buy them right now, but like you're going to have months and months in order to accumulate all this other stuff. So I wouldn't really worry about it too much right now. That's just a little bit of advice from me looking at the markets right now. So anyway, but you are going to need Yona's fragments, magical shards, Blackstones, and these catalysts here. The magical shards, if you don't know how to get these, you can end up getting them by melting your black magic crystals. I'd imagine these have also probably gone up in price as well. Yeah, you can see there's a lot of people panicking and just buying a bunch of these right now, but don't let that distract you. Like, you've got months to do this, so I wouldn't really worry about it too much right now, even though it looks concerning right now. You don't need them all at the moment. So, and then, of course, the Yona's fragments from Accessories, and the Old Moon Alchemy Catalyst. Now, this one right here, if we actually, I believe if we scroll down here, you can see the Old Moon Alchemy Catalyst can be purchased from Old Moon Manager NPC vendors for 3.5 million silver. Now, I believe that the vendor that it's talking about is actually the Old Moon vendor, which I know there's one in Velia. This is where you get like your Marnie fuel for your character tagging, and I believe it is somewhere over by the inn. Let's see if I can show you guys. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I believe it's over here. Old Moon Manager, like this vendor right here. I believe they should end up having the new materials as well as all this other stuff that, of course, you need for other things, like that unstable fuel you need for character tagging and all this other stuff here. So I believe that's where you should get those. And yeah, basically the most important one, though, is this one here at the top, the Blackstone Powder, the Burning Moonlight Blackstone Powder, and those ones you can only get a couple a day. Now, there's two different methods in order to get those. One of them is going to be through life skills, and one of them is going to be through defeating monsters. And I'll tell you right now that the life skilling method is twice as slow as the defeating monsters. I don't know why they did it this way. I guess in a way it kind of makes sense considering it's like a combat accessory, so it doesn't make sense for life skilling to give the same advantage of getting it as, you know, combat would, but you can still get it through life skilling. So life skillers, you do still have an opportunity to get this. It's just going to take you twice as long. You can see here's all the different daily quests that you can end up doing in order to get these Burning Moonlight Blackstone Powders, and through this method, you are going to only get one per day. Now, notice how many of these you're going to need in order to actually turn in for that pen accessory. You're going to need 110. So, like, it's going to take you a while. Even with the grinding method, it's still going to take you a while. Now, this is a great time for me to note that that Burning Moonlight tail that we ended up getting from the Heidel Ball, I believe this was sent to everybody's mail, this right here. What you can do is just quite simply turn that in for 28 of the Burning Moonlight Blackstones. So basically, that's going to end up saving you 28 days of daily quests through life skills, or 14 days of the daily quest through combat. Because now that we went over the life skilling, which is the slower method here, every day you're going to be able to get one of those right there. The combat method right here, you can actually end up getting 2 of them per day. So it's going to be twice as fast, and you can see all the different list of monsters here. Basically, it's just kill quests, right? You got to take some time to kill things. There's a reasonable chance you're probably farming one of these spots anyway, so, you know, just all you have to do is, if you guys want to get this pen accessory, very importantly, just make sure that you pick this up before you go to one of these spots to grind. Get the credit for the quest, turn it in for the powder, and if you do that every single day, you'll be accumulating those powders and you'll be able to get that guaranteed pen accessory. Now, very importantly as well, you can only choose to complete one of either a life skill or monster hunting quest per day. So you can't do them both. So if you do decide to go down that life skill route, just keep in mind that it is going to be a slower path to take. Now, another important thing to note is that these powders here, these Old Moon Alchemy Catalysts, this is going to be a reasonable cost here. Like, I want to tell you guys that this is definitely not free. I didn't want to use the word free in the video. I didn't want to say free pen accessory because it's not free. It's a guaranteed way to get it. It's a lot cheaper, a lot easier of a method compared to getting them off of the market. Like, if you were to go and buy a pen narc, Tungrad, or Crescent, it would be much more expensive than the amount of silver that it's going to cost through this method. But these Old Moon Alchemy Catalysts still end up costing you 3.5 million silver each, and you're going to need 10 of them for every one of these burning moonlight blackstones. So it's still going to cost you, you know, like 5+ billion silver just in silver to end up getting this accessory. But, you know, if you take a look at the price of the different accessories, you can see that that's a heck of a lot cheaper than what these accessories are going for at Penn. Like just Crescents as an example, 40 billion silver, and you'll see that the other ones like the Narcs are also pretty darn expensive as well. Let's go to earrings, and Narcs are currently sitting at almost 30 billion silver, and then the Tungrads are also at about 30 billion silver. So it's still a much cheaper and much easier method to get them compared to buying it off of the market. So that's pretty much it. Besides that, just make sure that you guys are doing this every single day and accumulate those materials. And then you'll be able to get that guaranteed Penn accessory. Now the question is, which one of the three should you consider going for? You've got three choices: the Narc ear accessory, the Tungrad earring, and the Ring of the Crescent Guardian. And again, this is just a suggestion here. You guys do not have to take this 100%. This, at the end of the day, go with the accessory that you feel like is going to be the best for your account, which is going to provide you the most enjoyment. But I will tell you, for the majority of players, and for basically most people who are going to wanting to do this, you're going to want to really consider the Ring of the Crescent Guardian as your #1 pick here. And I want to explain here the reasons why, because there's a very particular reason why. So the other two choices, we kind of have to explain why the other two choices might not be as good to kind of get to the reason why the Ring of the Crescent Guardian is probably going to be the one that most people want to consider. So the first one was the Narc earring accessory, and one of the really big reasons for you know, the Narcs not being the #1 choice is when it comes to your earrings, most players are really at the end game going to mostly be trying to focus on distortion earrings. These are going to have the potential to end up giving you the highest AP, even if you don't end up going for like a Penn distortion, which is obviously like that's miles and miles away from, I'm sure, most people watching this video. Even a Tet distortion here is 18 AP. Even though you do sacrifice, of course, some DP and damage reduction there. That's the cost of having this be the best AP accessory, the best AP earring in the game. Now, if you look at the Narc, it does have some DP considerations to make, and for some people out there who maybe have some unique builds or who really have a handle on their character and their accounts, if you really feel like you know what you're doing, if you want to go for it, go for it. Like at the end of the day, pick the one that you want to, but it's definitely not the general consideration that most people want to make, given how a Penn Narc, you can see here, caps out at just 15 AP. Yes, it does give you a little bit of DP, but generally that's not going to be the main consideration for most people there. Gives you a little bit of damage reduction, and it does also give you the extra damage to Kama Sylvia mobs, but the extra AP from the disto is really going to make it the main focus for a lot of people. And that also kind of brings up the reason why the second choice, which is going to end up being that Tungrad earring, is once again going to be not as preferential to the Crescent ring for most people, right? As it's in that same category. It's going to be in the earring category. So if you go to Tungrad, you can see here that, interestingly enough, also Tungrad earrings are very cheap at Penn, because when distortions came out, a lot of people who had Tungrads started going for distortions. So it's kind of that same thing. Now, this is just the market, of course. There's just too many of these out there, which is why the Pens are like super cheap compared to, you know, the other prices. But you know, this is just a flat AP earring, right? It's got 17 AP, but once again, if you take a look at the distortions, it's just going to be the inferior choice for a lot of people compared to the distortions, because these will give you 21 at Penn, of course, at the cost of that DP. So, and I don't even want to really focus on Penn distortions, because that's obviously like not really realistic. Even if you focus on Tet distortion as like your real end game goal, and you feel like that's the highest you'll ever be able to get to, you can see that even a Tet distortion has more AP than a Penn Tungrad earring does. So because a lot of people really playing around the distortions, both of the other earring options there, the Narcs and the Tungrads, are not going to be as preferential. Now let's get into the #1 choice, which is, for most people anyway, which is going to be that Crescent ring. And Crescent is a very solid choice here. It's a very strong ring. Now, it is not the best in slot ring. However, you need 2 rings. Keep that in mind as well. And it's very unlikely that you are already going to be at the point where you've got 2 rings that are better than a Penn Crescent. So I would say most people out there in the game, like basically everybody except the literal top players, A pen crescent ring is going to be a very solid upgrade for them. There's not going to be another accessory or another ring that's like a clear-cut winner. You know, distos are just a clear-cut winner over every other option. Obviously, a crescent, it's not the absolute best ring, but if you take a look at another option here, like the tongue grad ring, which is really going to be the one that a lot of people are going for here. If you take a look at these at pen, you can see that a pen tongue grad is just 1 AP higher. So technically, yes, this is going to be better, right? It's 1 AP higher than a crescent, but it's 1 AP, right? And you can see how expensive these are and how crazy of a grind and a goal it's going to be in order to get one of these. Like a crescent is definitely not a bad choice, especially given that you're going to end up needing 2 of them there. It's not, the difference between a crescent and a tongue grad is not nearly as significant, for example, as the difference between like a narc and a disto, or a tongue grad earring and a disto. So in terms of your overall account progression, crescent is going to be the way to go for most people. However, once again, if you really have a feeling like you know what you're doing, or if you've got a very specific build where you feel like one of the other choices might be better, totally go for it. It's up to you. At the end of the day, the most important thing is to have fun. So I think that's pretty much everything here that I wanted to cover. This was a pretty detailed, lengthy video, so I want to leave it here before I start to go off into things that I don't need to add to this video. So I hope that you guys enjoy it. I hope that this video helped out. If it did and you guys want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing to the channel. We've got a new season and a new class coming up, so I'm sure I'll be putting out some more videos related to that very, very soon. So keep an eye out. If you guys want to help out as well, tossing a quick like means more than you can imagine, and feel free to ask any questions or leave any comments that you guys want as well. It does help out the YouTube algorithm, so thank you to those of you guys who do that. Take care, everyone. Have a fantastic rest of your day, evening, night, afternoon, wherever you are, and I will see you all very soon.